every short story is a message. There is something I wanted to say, something I wanted to communicate, and I communicated it. So all my short stories, or my selected short stories at least, came out as a book now called The Rotor, which is also the title of the first story, which is why it's called The Rotor, is because it's the first story title. In here you can see Brian, whose life is full of crap, and of course, who is to better handle it than the Rotor? So he calls the Rotor, and anyway, it's a humorous story. It's a fantasy, obviously, but it does have a message. Every story has a message. For example, let's take wow, magic. The End is another short story where about an old man dying in a hospital. So there he is dying, and it's actually quite beefy, that story, and also it has a message, and the message is that we know that there are only two things certain in life, which is death and taxes. Well, could it be that actually the only one thing certain in life is taxes? So it works that over. The writer's block. The writer's block is a contest winning a short story about a writer working on the ending for his romance novel, and he just can't do it. It's just too difficult. He can't write the ending to a romance story. What happens to all these couples who ride into the sunset, and they probably get married, and then what? Like, what actually happens afterwards? And it's very difficult, and it's very funny, and he's working it over, and this and that. But we can see that actually one thing that he doesn't realize is that he is living that happy ending every day in his own life with his wife, but he can't see it. So he's basically, so that's what that's about. Mother Nature. Requiem is a short story from my personal life. It's a little embarrassing. I'm not gonna take it up right now. Beyond Reach is a military short story about a military officer, captain in Darfur. It also has its own message, which is basically, he's a powerful person, and there is not much that he can do. But there is one thing in life that he can't seem to be able to do, is hold on to this woman that he loves. So he can do everything else, and he can do feats of bravery and danger and all that, and command people and lead them in battle and take decisions, and just an incredible guy. But he can't actually like hold on to that one woman. So it has its own message. Singing Kumbaya. Singing Kumbaya is a story about, is also a contest-winning short story about two senior citizens, and the message in this story is that it's never too early or too late, but really not too early to start on your bucket list. Like, we all have a bucket list, and life is a bucket list, and nobody said that you have to start late on your bucket list. You can start early. That way you can get more done, out of your bucket list. Present for the President is a hilarious story from an assignment I had in Russia, having to do with President Gorbachev. A sense of perspective is a parallel between a military Navy pilot, John, and his fly counterpart, Torl, who is actually a military pilot of a tiny species of intelligent beings called Mzit. And these are tiny little beings, and they flies. A fly is just a bionic machine, and they actually have a lot in common, John and Torl, and they have very little difference. Then we have that's a sense of perspective, forever joy, a broken pawn, and the Stradivari anomaly are two of my best short stories. They won contests as well, and they would be best among any stories, not just among my stories. They're among the best. But in any case, every story is a message, and I hope you like it. Thank you.